In another segment of Spilling the Truth with Godwin. I'm still on the show. I still have my favorite guest here with me, Mr. Rudy. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me, Godwin.
Thank you for coming once again. I know it hasn't been easy. Yeah, it's festive and everybody is busy doing their things the way they want it. Yeah, guys, don't forget the show is brought to you by GRS7 Electronics IT Security. Do not forget to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more of this program. That's the only way you can support us. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's the only way we are asking for your support at this point. Just to encourage us and keep us going. At this point, we're going to be talking on still on the education system, how it has affected the kids and the society. So, Mr. Rudy here will still give us a breakdown or his own understanding regarding that aspect concerning the education system in our society. I remain your host, Godwin Adams, aka the mouthpiece of the Most High. Mr. Rudy.
Yes, sir.
You know, since the other time we were talking about the education system, I at some point I saw that you have a lot to share.
Yes.
And I said that was why we didn't manage to wrap up that day on this education system and that program.
Yeah.
So I'm happy you made it again today to be here and to at least hopefully we can finish something regarding the education system today and we can move on.
Yes, yes.
So the floor is yours.
Okay. Yeah, thanks again for having me. First, I would just like to say that, we are not being judgmental towards anybody.
Right.
Towards any government institute, person, or parents, or the only thing is that we see a problem,
right,
and we're just finding ways of rectifying the problem or even improving on the problem
That is
itself.
why the program is called Spilling the Truth.
Yeah, and as a fact also we've seen that due to a lack of knowledge, most of our members of society, there are certain things they cannot cope with. So yeah, so we're just trying to make people aware of these issues. A few years back,
right,
I did a learnership for about say 25 learners.
Okay.
And these learners were all matriculants. Okay. So now, in the course of doing this learnership, the students were asked to view study material and then make a summary of what they can identify.
Right.
In other words, find keywords in that context and try and summarize it. In that class, none of these learners could give me an assumption of what they are reading.
Okay.
In other words, I saw a serious problem of comprehension.
Right.
In other words, these learners were not able to read a passage and make a summary, highlight keywords in that context, and be able to do any discussions on it. I'll say it is that.
Right.
Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that yes, I can see that some of our learners, when they're reading, they don't have a way of understanding what they are reading.
True.
So now this brings us back to to the fact that in our education system, we are still using the old methods of teaching our learners and kids how to read and write.
Right.
There's two basic methods that they are using. They're using the phonic method, right? Now this phonic method is basically the way the same way that I was taught how to read and write. First, we are taught the alphabet.
Right.
Alphabet. After that, the sounds of the letters, and then there's also other method, which they call. Let me just see here. They call it the. It's the phonic, and then it's the luxe. Now, both of these methods, these are old methods that they use still in school today, which does not prove to be an effective way of teaching our kids how to read and write. Right? This is a method we use since the war, the last war that we ever had. And research is showing that these two methods are not teaching our kids how to read and comprehend, how to make summaries, how to find ways of reading even a bit faster, and helping them to remember more.
Right.
You see, because in the 1980s, research has also shown us that our brains have two hemispheres. We have a right hemisphere and a left hemisphere. Now, in order for us to read effectively, we have to find ways of getting these two brain hemispheres to work together. You see?
Yes.
So now, if we have methods in school that can help our two brain hemispheres to work together, that will improve our way of reading, learning, and even finding ways to remember what we're reading even much more. You see, so yeah, this is one of the problems, and also at the end of the show, I have a surprise or even a good tip for parents to take a stand now, right? Especially now. Remember, we are in the festive season.
Right.
Parents are now running up and down to buy school stationery for their children, right? Schoolwear and things like that, preparing for next year. Now, at the end of the show, viewers, I have a nice tip of how we can help our children now on improving their studies. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rodi. Putting all of this together, I know that it's not an easy job, And I hope the viewers they're doing what it takes to make a great impact in the society.
Yeah.
Because what we are trying to do is to make a difference.
Yes, and also to create an awareness, for parents, community members, leaders, to try and find ways for us to improve our situation in our society. In our last broadcast, we talked about the research that has been done in how our brains are working. Remember, we talked about the growth mindset, and we talked about the fixed mindset. Now, just to elaborate further on that, basically what it boils down to the fact that we people, or even learners, teachers, we must help try and find ways for our children to understand themselves. In other words, remember, we are using our brains, we are using our minds, right, to learn and comprehend what we are learning. So if a learner is now basically has a mindset of growth, that means that this learner knows that if I study on a regular basis, basis diligently, I can be even more successful, and this is how I also improve my intelligence. So in other words, a person with a growth mindset is a person that can also learn about resilience. Right? Remember, things are not easy in our societies today. So if a person has a growth mindset, that person has also a way of coping more than a person who has a fixed mindset. Remember now, a person with a fixed mindset is a person who only believes in, I have this type of knowledge, and out of this context that I know nothing. So in other words, these people are just fixed on that little bit of knowledge that they have. But a person with a growth mindset, now on the other hand, this person knows that, okay, I am I'm capable of doing more. In other words, if I give myself more time to study, I will be able to score higher marks in the exams as well. You see, so these are all things that research is showing us. We can use that same research and teach our children the same thing in our education system.
Mr. Rudy, thank you. Guys, we're going to take a short break. We're going to take a short break because talking without digesting, my guy, you can sit in front of this camera, you will know how it feels like. Don't forget, the show is brought to you by GRS7 Electronics IT Security, and I'm still with my guest, Mr. Rudy, on the show. Do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
All right.